Hello, everybody. Oh my goodness, I've got my glasses squishing down my hair on one side. I'm always having to readjust my glasses. Either the light is glaring in it, or they're crooked, or something. And those of you who wear glasses, I know you know the struggle is real. But welcome today. I'm Christy here at My Artful Adventures. Today is the day after Thanksgiving, and I thought that we would do a fun little project. We're just going to do some little Ephemera Storage Pockets, and so I am part of a hop today with the group Take 5. And we are a group over on Facebook, and on the last Friday of the month we come and we strictly just are here on YouTube. So that makes it kind of fun and exclusive for our YouTube viewers. But if you like my content, I would love for you to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. We love to grow those channels wherever we are, right? Our social media channels. But so today I think that I just wanted to do something real easy today, and so something easy and yet something that is going to be helpful to you, right? We all like to try to get a little bit organized and have easy projects to do to help us be organized, right? And I've been kind of in a big cleanup mode here at my house, and it has just gotten way out of hand, and so I'm trying to get that taken care of. And I got one area cleaned out, and I had so much stuff on the dining room table, and when my husband came in yesterday, he goes, "What happened to all the stuff?" So actually, and you know what I decided to do? I had some big tubs, the big bins, totes, and we had to take out a whole bunch of stuff when we recently had our bathrooms redone. And so when we did that, I emptied out the stuff, put them back in the bathrooms where they all went. And so I still had several things. And so I thought, you know what? I'm just going to use those big tubs and I'm going to set them out. And it's going to give me a way to kind of organize. I'm not going to keep the stuff in there, but it gives me a great way to see what I've got and to organize them and, dump stuff in here that should go somewhere, dump stuff in here. And so they're so big that I don't have to worry about overflowing. And then, I can just pick them up and take them where they need to go to be all set up and get everything squared away. So I thought that was real smart of me. And so far it's working really good. So you might want to try that too if you have some empty totes that you can do. But enough about that kind of organizing. Let's go ahead. I'm going to put you down here to the desktop, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do. We're going to try to get through a couple of them, okay? And so we've got one of them I'm going to do. I'm not going to do this one first, but I've taken out a file folder. And and you could use a plain file folder, or you could get one of, some of these fancy ones. And I've had these for a really long time, but I know that you can still get them, at some of the office stores, the big office stores, and even some of those have dwindled down in my area. I don't know about you either. Hello, Mary, and hello, Christy. And you guys, the rest of the people in our Take 5 group are listed in the description of this video. So we would love to have you stick with us through the day and just go ahead and check out each of our people, and it's going to be a lot of fun today. So we are going to, let's just get with it, right? Okay, so I said I'm going to do this one second. I think I can get through a couple of these. So we're going to start with the easy one. This is just a piece of plain cream colored 12 by 12 paper, and you could go ahead and if you want to make it fancier looking, you could do that. But what I'm thinking is these would be great to stick in if you're doing some junk journaling, or whatever you want to do. Maybe you've got a traveler's notebook that you work in, but just make it and tuck things in that you want to use in that project. Now, one of them I'm going to make the one from the file folder. I'm going to make it so that I could tuck it into my Happy Planner that has the disc bound system. So we're going to get to that next. Let's start off with our easiest one first. So I'm just going to take this, and if you do about 5 inches, I think we're going to kind of, the base of this one is going to be a 5 by 7. It will be what our base is. And I think that will be a good size for us to start with, because I think that 5x7 would go into a lot of sizes of journals, okay? So this will give you a place to start. I'm trying to get a place for my mouse to live over here to where it's back on my mouse pad. Please hold. So it doesn't like just on my desk by itself. I have trouble with it doing that. Okay, so I'm going to cut this. I'm going to cut it at 5 inches wide. I'm just going to go ahead and cut the entire length down like that. Set that up here out of my way. And then I want to have a pocket. I want it to be 7 inches tall. And I think my bottom pocket, I want to be about 2.5 inches. So that means I need to cut this at 9.5. So we'll just put this here at 9.5 and trim that down. So since we want our first pocket to be at 2.5, let's go ahead and well, it doesn't matter. You know, it's so funny because you got a piece of paper and you're thinking one end is the top, and at this point it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter which side we're using, it could be the top. But I'm always like turning it like, okay, that's my top, so I should do it this way. It doesn't matter at this point. All we want to do at this point is let's go ahead and score it at 2.5. So a lot of these trimmers have a little place here where the blade can slide through, and if you've got one of these kind of paper trimmers, you can make that double as a place to score. So I'm just going to score that right there, and now I can just turn that up. Okay, so there's our first little pocket. And now let's make, oh, I wonder if this would be enough. That's not quite, well, let's see. That might be enough just right there, and we could get by with that. You know, let's do it. Let's just use that one right there. And is that 7 inches? Yep. It seems kind of short. But you know, I'm going to go with it. Like I said, I decided that this would be a great size to just tuck in a lot of different journals or whatever. Let me grab a piece of plain paper. Oh, look, there's one right there. Now, what I would really like to have is one that is like something like a backing off of something like stickers might come on. Something that's a little bit shiny and glossy. And then as I ink, it's not going to come off onto my paper. But that's okay. I can live with it. I gotta get my ink. And I'm just going to use our favorite old vintage photo. There's a couple of colors that are great for this kind of stuff, you guys. And I think I'm going to go ahead and round the corners. I think I'm going to round the corners of the top and the bottom. I'm not going to necessarily do all of the things. That isn't even a whole, that's not even a trimmer. Well, I don't even see where my corner rounder is. But you know what? I don't need a quarter rounder. You can use a pair of little scissors, and all I'm going to do is just give it just a tiny little corner trim. And, you know, just go around the edge. Look at that. And I am going to do down here too, just a tiny bit. Just like that. And then I'm just going to give it a little bit of ink. Now, one of the things, that is not quite enough. There we go. So, oh, you guys, I got to turn my fan on. I think when I came out here this morning, it was kind of chilly, but it's not chilly anymore. Did you guys, hi, Carrie. Did you guys have a wonderful holiday? I sure do hope so. Hope you had a great holiday. Okay, I'm going to turn this one down, and I'm just going to ink along here. And that's kind of some messy inking. I don't even care. Oh my goodness. That is really messy inking. I think I'm just going to do it like this. I really don't like that. I'm going to turn this the other way. See, paper has two sides, you guys. Never be afraid to use both sides of your paper. I did not like that at all. I got kind of carried away. So I'm just gonna ink the edges. And you could, if you wanted to, put a little finger notch there, but a lot of times I like to put the little finger notch more if it's like a card or something, to where you can, where you want people to know that it's something that lifts out. But on this, it's going to be very apparent that it's, you know, something to lift out, because that's what we're going to put is our ephemera. And you could use it for tags or labels, or, you know, whatever you like to use, whatever you like to have on hand. I'm curious, do you guys all have something that you kind of feel is your go-to for things to use for ephemera? I like a real variety of stuff, actually. I know some people seem to use a lot of buttons and lace. I guess, you know, mostly mine is whatever it is, it's usually still paper. That's kind of my go-to thing all the time, as many of you know. So that is that, and now I'm going to, let's see, where do we want to put this? I'm going to put that right about there. So I think, let me grab, oh, I don't even have a pencil. I'm just going to make a little mark under here. Well, you know what? Just going to make a tiny little mark there. And that way I'll know where to put that. So we're going to put our ink on 3 sides of this to make our little pocket. And I like to use that reptile glue and put it in these tiny needle nose containers, because it holds great and I don't need a whole bunch, and it sticks pretty fast. So let me just line this up. I see where I want to cover that up. I don't want that showing, so we'll just stick that there, press it down here. And so now we don't need any along the bottom here because it already is attached. So see, I told you this was going to be an easy project, right? And then we'll do our next one in a second. So just a little bit of glue, pop that up there. And now we've got a couple of pockets here. So you can put anything in here. Now, you guys, let's see, what is today? I think it was last week. This paper studio design is something that Hobby Lobby carries, and let me grab another one of these. And I had been waiting for them to go on sale. They have all kinds of different, I think there's about 5 different packs. They all have different looks to them, right? Different kinds of colors and different little goodies that are in there, but they're not super expensive. And I think that Hobby Lobby almost every other week has their stuff on sale of whatever it is that you might want to be, you know, purchasing. So I was over there and I had found these, and I thought, well, I'm not going to pay full price because I know good and well they're going to be, you know, like on sale. And, you know, sometimes they're different prices. I think the day I got this, they were like 40% off. But, you know, it just makes just tons of fun little goodies. These would be great to put in. Oh, here's kind of something on the back. Look at, and these are vintage. I love to have some vintage things sometimes. I think this is cute. So it's got a good variety. I don't know if there's, I assume there's probably more in the packs than just what they've got on the pictures, but I don't know. I haven't opened one up yet. But all kinds of fun goodies. Look at this one, like a little postcard. So we've got this here. You can put tags. I've had this package for ages and ages. And sometimes when you leave things in their packages, they never get used. So I think this would be a great way to take out some of our things and be able to, you know, use them. Look at this. This is cork, and it's actually got a sticky back on it to use as a sticker. Isn't that cute? Like cork. I've seen a variety of things done in cork. like letters and different kinds of things. And I think it is just so much fun. Look here, and here's a little wood one, but here's some tall tags. Let's see if a tall tag will fit in here. Yeah, that's just right. Just right. We might have wanted to have it just a tiny bit bigger, but this tag, let's measure this tag. I'll put it down here on the bottom where I can do it real quick. It's about 4 3/4 inches. So you could think, and if you're just going to tuck this in the back of, you know, whatever you're using, then it doesn't really matter. You could have something sticking up a little bit farther. It's still going to, you know, keep it organized for you. Hey there, Melanie. So, you know, all kinds of good things you could pop in here. And, you know, maybe while you're putting these together, if you're somebody that likes to do some distressing, maybe that's one of the things that you do, is while you're putting, you know, your things in here and you're going to have them ready to use. Maybe you're sitting watching TV or something and you're just going to give a little bit of ink to the edges of some of these, and then they're ready to go. Now this one's still probably, you know, I would punch a hole in it and have it, you know, ready for some string or something, which, look, I thought this was a corner rounder, but it wasn't, so maybe we could just go ahead and poke a hole in it now. This is not very easy to see where it pokes. On the crocodile, you can see exactly where you're going to poke. This one, you got to kind of look at the side. Let me see. Looks like it's kind of in the center. Yeah, that's not too bad. Not too bad. And then you could just, oh, looky here. I liked, and you've heard me talk about this before. I love having some of this crochet thread available to use on stuff. I mean, if you're just using a tiny bit for different kinds of things, can you imagine how long one of these is going to last? We were at an estate sale and they had like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 different colors of these balls of crochet thread. I'm like, oh my goodness. Yep, look. You can leave this world and still leave your ball of crochet thread. So, and you know, you just double it over, stick it through the hole, pop it in, and look, there, I've got that ready. So when I'm ready to go, there that is. So, you know, just tuck in all your goodies here. I do want to see, and this has got several things in here. I'm going to tuck that out of the way so we can look at some of these though. I'm really, oh look at this tiny little envelope. Look at that. That is so cute. And you guys, you can make your own tiny little envelopes to have on hand too. I love tiny stuff. How many of you like to use little mini things as well? Do you like to as well? Let's open these. I may be sorry. I may have these spread all over and then I'll wish I hadn't have had them all over the place. But I'm kind of anxious to see what I see there's some larger stuff back there, and I wondered how big that stuff was. But these are very soft, subtle, you know, colors on these. These would be pretty like with something if you were doing some kind of shabby chic stuff. Wouldn't that be pretty on these? And you might even make some of your pockets to where maybe you've got one that is for vintage things. Maybe you've got one that is, you know, just for something that is more soft and, you know, more feminine colored. And, oh, this is cute. Look at this. This is something you would just put like on a corner of something. And it's, you know, I think it's supposed to kind of look like it was torn. But all kinds of fun things on here. You guys, I hope that you're looking at some of the great sales that are going on today. I know scrapbook.com today has another, if you use Black Friday, I know you can get another, I think it's another 12% off. And they're things that are they're special things that have been developed by scrapbook.com. I know that those things are also, they've got some deep price cuts on some of their things. Close to my heart today is going to have, let's see, theirs starts at, I think it's 5 p.m. Eastern, and they're having a Black Friday sale. And I don't know why they are having it start so late. I don't know. But lots of great things everywhere on sale. So, you know, even these kinds of things that have these soft colors, I would still, if it was me, I'd still be putting a little ink on them. I just think it gives it just a little bit more, I don't know. I just like it better. It just gives it a little bit more oomph. Look at that. Any of them. Even this one, even though it's dark, I'd still hit the edges with something. There's so many ink colors, and even these distress. The one reason I like the Distress Oxide is they're kind of a little bit creamier, and you do have to wait for a little bit longer for them to dry because they are part dye-based ink and part pigment. And as the pigment inks are the ones that are a little bit creamier and take a little bit longer to dry. But look at this one compared to, here's just the other one. And it just adds just a tiny bit of something more, you know, just to bring it out a little bit better. Aren't these colors great? Yes, I love small and cute too. But here, I wanted to see what these larger things were. So this looks like, okay, so these are just printed on one side. And this looks like kind of a little postcard too. It's got a postmark. It doesn't have an address. It's got like a little, it says it's never too late to be what you might have been. That's cool. Beauty and simplicity. So all of these are bigger pieces. And I think it's nice to have a variety of, but lots of little sayings. And you know, we're always doing little paper projects where we're adding something on, right? Let's open up this vintage one. And then we'll still have plenty of time to do our other method of our ephemera pockets. Let's open this one and see what it's like. Look, you can always order things too online, right? But it's always hard to guess what is in these things just by looking at a pack of stacked up goodies. But this does, I'm sure all of you who are into any kind of paper crafting or anything, I'm sure you know who these remind me of. These remind me of some, Tim Holtz vintage things. So lots of goodies here. Here's some keys and a top hat. What's this? Looks like a couple of ladies, some chairs, some architecture things, crown, the old, what do you call those things? I think a Victrola, I think, was the name brand of one, where they played the music. That's a step back in time, right? The balloons, the old clocks, bird cages, more keys, writing pens, a little perfume atomizer, a couple of kinds of typewriters, an old car, shoes, luggage. Oh my goodness, this really has a variety. Some old scissors, some kind of a horn, a different kind of shoe, some houses. I love this house. My goodness, and it's a pretty large size. Look at that. Look how big that thing is. I mean, it's a good size piece of ephemera. I don't know when they start getting that big. I almost don't even call them ephemera. Yes, Melanie, exactly. Tim Holtz looking. Some sewing machines. This is a great one, you guys. Oh, look here. This guy, they put him originally, he was like in a frame. So he popped out of there, and you could, and the frame is actually cut out too, so you could use just the frame. I bet that's the way this is too. Yes, this has bigger frame and some luggage. Well, you guys, I tell you what, this is a really nice set, and kind of a little bit more economical than the Tim Holtz things. Some feathers. I like this one a lot. I can see myself using this. Some thread and safety pins. Okay, well that's kind of a fun look through. That was unplanned. Unplanned, but that was fun. I like that. I was going to get some of these out because I thought maybe I would put them in my little thing I was making. But how fun. Oh, here's like a little globe. It's not attached to anything, but that's cool. Okay. So, and what a great variety of sizes. And I'm surprised how many of them are large. And you know, a lot of times people anymore are also going to printables because you can print things over and over. And like labels that have numbers and dates and things, those are always a fun thing to add on to what you're doing. And in case you don't know, somebody who does some great printables like that is Tracy Fox. And I don't have anything to do with Tracy Fox. I don't make a dime on telling you that. But she's got quite a few things that are printables that really are nice. And I'm talking about, usually those things are on Etsy. I would love to do something like that sometime and have some things like that, but I tell you what, it just seems like I can barely get done what I need to do during the day anymore, it seems like. Okay, so we got that in there. Let's work on our next one. Now, I'm just going to kind of push these over here to the side. Let's get started on our other version of this. So, what I want to do with this one is I want this to be, and you can decide, I mean, do you want this pretty part on the outside? Well, I do. And I'm going to make it so that it fits this disc bound system, and we've been working on this I was calling this page a day because you can just do one page, you can do one little part, and you know, and then just slip it in here. You don't have to take it apart. You could do the same thing with a like a ring binder as well, but I like the discs because then I can put it, you know, anywhere I want. If I want one low, it's got enough here to hold them. If I want it high, if I want it right in the middle. I think I have something in the middle over here. No, I dreamed that up. Sorry. But let's see. So this is what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it this size. And this is the, I think they call this the classic size planner. And it is, let me get a ruler. I'll tell you how big it is. The pages on here are 7, I think they're 7 by 9. 7 by 9 and about a quarter. So, I mean, that's a big size. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to build this in here is because if I've got something big I want to do, I still have room to do that over here. So I can make a fairly decent size ephemera storage pocket for this. So let's go ahead and let's trim it off. I don't want it that well, I'm going to take that back. I do want it to be big enough that I can attach it in here. So we're going to first go ahead and trim it, you know, to be, and I don't need it I don't need it 7 inches. I think I will make it, well, let's make it 6.5. I mean, let's do that. We can do it. We can do whatever we want to. Move this out of the way a little bit. So I'm going to flip it over here because I'm going to cut from this side. So let's do 6.5. And whoop, that thing is in the way. So I'm going to kind of lift it up a little bit. And 6.5 on this trimmer is kind of a pain. And so, oops, I do not want that to get caught on that wire. So because this is kind of thick, you're going to have to run it through probably more than once. Well, that wasn't too bad. Okay, so we've got 6.5. And now I want to leave part of this to where it's got enough to go in here, and I'd say I'm gonna do like about 3/4 of an inch. I'm gonna leave 3/4 of an inch loose. Okay, so if we do 3/4 of an inch, we can punch the holes in there, but I don't want to put all of it like that. And how tall is that? You know, actually that'll fit just this height. So I need to cut off 3/4 of an inch on one side. So I'm going to cut it on this side. And that's going to be kind of tricky. Let's see. If we do this and cut about, we do 3 inches. Let's cut. I'm gonna have to measure this, you guys. If I leave 3 inches right here, I gotta see where that leaves me. I'm gonna do 3 inches here. Actually, that's kind of deep. Let's leave something so our tiny things can have a spot to live too, because some of the tiny ones just get lost. So I think on this one I'm just going to go ahead and make that bottom part of the folder 2 inches. So I can bump it up here and then cut 2 inches off, or leave it so this is 2 inches, okay, like this. And so now I can put this down and I can cut that's not right. I need to cut the 3/4 of an inch off of this down to this first score mark. Okay. Yikes, I gotta get my thing up here. So just make sure that you're straight. And I'm just cutting down to where that folds. And then I'm just gonna use some scissors and cut that section off. Okay, and so that leaves this section at about 5 3/4. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this at 5 3/4, so any of the other sections I want to put in for pockets will be the right width. Okay, so we've got this one for a tiny pocket. And then this one we can put here and make a pocket. Let's make this pocket about here. What is that? That's about 2 3/4. So we'll cut off 2 3/4 here. So that's a pocket. So we'll put that one here. And then if we want to, we can put this one up here and have kind of a big pocket for some taller things. And then it actually, our pocket will go from down here to clear up here. So I kind of like that. So that's what I'm going to do. And I don't know about this. Let's try to, well, and while we've got it at this point, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to punch my holes. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead, and it's got a little marking here for the center, and then, you know, it's got things to where you can kind of line up and center it. So I'm going to kind of pull it out here to the edge, and then I can see it's kind of centered here. So I think I'll be good to just pop it in there like that. And then just cut them out. And now I've got those little mushroom shaped holes to go in that binder. I love that disc system. Have any of you deal outlet mod lines around some stores today? Oh my goodness. Yes, I haven't even been anywhere, and I know some places have huge lines at places, and it just is, it truly is amazing, isn't it? And especially in places where the weather is not very warm and friendly, those lines around those places are just crazy. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead now and ink some of this, and because this will take a moment to dry, so I want to go ahead and ink it. And because it's on that slick paper, it's gonna take a second. I'm just going to do the top of this one because we're not going to see the edge. Well, no, we will see part of the edge like this. But I mean, for a little bit of organization, this just isn't very hard, right? It's just not hard at all. How many of you like to stay organized all the time, or do you go through spurts? Do you go through spurts to organize? Oh my goodness. I kind of go in spurts, and I'll admit it, I'm just kind of messy about stuff like this in general. I do what I'm doing, I finish it, I toss it to the side, and I hurry off to the next thing I'm supposed to be doing. So that's kind of my method, and I'm not going to say that's a great method, because in the end there's usually something I'm hunting for, and it's just so annoying. Look, you can even see this vintage photo brown color even on this dark red. Look at that. I thought this would be kind of pretty, even if you were doing some things that were, if you were like for a Christmas. If you were doing a Christmas project, you could put your things in here. I think I'm even going to just go ahead and ink the edges over here, because you can see them. You can see them in your binder, right? I'm going to have to get a new one. Mine's going to be my planner that is dated. I do a lot of things that on my calendar on my phone, to where it's on my computer and in my phone, but I also like to have it available written down. Okay, so if we put that one there, and I think I want to put this one here too while I'm at it. And I'm just going to leave part of that red up there. It's going to be kind of a deep pocket. I don't know. You know what? I wonder if that's almost even too deep, you guys. Let's see. Here's a big tag. This was over here. Well, no, I guess, you know, there are things that are big that we might want some space for, that are deep. So I guess that's okay. I'll leave that at that. And then I'm just going to make a mark here. And I'm going to start gluing from back to front. That way, as I'm gluing down the backs, I'm gluing this one, and then we'll glue this one down so it goes over it, and then finally our bottom section. So, where's my glue? There it is. Here, Melanie, you're a spurts girl. Yeah. Well, you know, when you've got other things to do, right? So I gotta make sure I know which way is my top. When you've got other things that you have to do, as women, a lot of us moms, grandmas, you know, you name it, we have other things to do. Lots of people have other jobs. We don't just all sit around crafting all the time. So a lot of times when we have time to get something accomplished, we take advantage of that, and then we have to go back and clean up, right? And, you know, that's just the way it is. Okay, try and get this on straight. Okay, and then our next section. So again, we're just doing 3 sides. And this is, you know, a lot of times I've talked about making a little gusset so that you've got a little bit more room. But I think in doing this, the pocket is wide enough to where we've got some, you know, quite a bit of room to put something in. And at the same time, you don't want this to be so loose. And now I covered up my spot. So much for back to front, right? I'll just put this here. There we go. And then just press it down. I still don't want to rub this too much yet because on that slick surface, it might take a moment more to dry that ink. I don't want to rub that all off. Okay, and then our last one. And again, we only need to put it on the sides because it is connected. And just fold that one up. And then you could put something along, you know, the front here to kind of decorate it as well. Let's see if we've got something. There's so much. Maybe we should look at the plain one. This one has got so much going on. This one doesn't want to stick. I should have inked this edge anyway. See, maybe it didn't stick for a reason. You know what? Let me grab a couple of my little clippies. So, oh, where are they? Well, I don't know. There's something else. I try to keep some things like this in my drawer so I can grab them real quick if I need them. This is not what I was looking for, but it'll work. Just want it to hold that down a second. Okay, so let's look for something to decorate with. I don't know if I've got anything on that bright red color. Let me see. Let me see what these other packs were. Let's see what she's got. Oh my goodness, I don't know if I can lift from that far. Ugh, I did it. I have an old cookie tin that I keep a lot of my packaged things in. I don't know, this thing has just got so much going on. I just don't know that I've got anything I want to use like that. Let's just go for the other one. Let's work on this one. Let's pull this one back out. Because I think we can find something for this one that'd be kind of cute. That's too wide. Here's another one of the packs. Let's see what's in this one. Oh, here's some things down there. Oh, this one has got some things that look more like little old postcards, like vintage postcards. I'm sorry, I've got the crinkly packaging sound going on here, you guys. I know a lot of people are really annoyed by that. It doesn't bother me, but I know a lot of people don't like it. Let's see. I think I can make something work on this one. Be kind of cute. Can you see what I've got here? Oh, and here's some others that are already shaped like tags. That's kind of fun. I want to see. I think these big things are just too big. And they're going the wrong direction anyway. Those are just too large. Look, here's a thing like a map. Yeah, that's cool. There's some fun ones in this one. You could put a label on here. That would be fun. Some labels. Look, this is like, oh, that, I think this folds. No, maybe it's just both of them there. That's kind of cool. Let's put something on here. It's like a hotel, I can't even think of, ledger sheet type thing. Here's like a little train across here. That's kind of fun. There's things like postage stamps. I mean, you could just decorate the front of this fun little thing. Well, there's several things that are a postage stamp looking thing. Or what's this? Oh, several things that are like, that's fun. There, it's a different hotel name, but that's kind of fun. You could, you know, and if you need to line things up and center them, you could do that. It's all up to you. You know, the options are just endless. Actually, would that fit on this one? That's kind of plain looking, and that would be kind of fun. You know, I think I'm just, you know, I can put a zillion things in here. I think I'm just going to leave that one to put in. Let's put it on this one, though. This thing is kind of calling for more fun on it, don't you think? We'll just glue it on here. And again, the other people who are in our Take 5 group, who are in our YouTube event today, we're just kind of hopping from one of our presenters to the next. And after me is going to be Jeannie Clifton with Clifton's Crafty Casa, and she's going to be following me, and the link to her is in the description of this video, and there's links to all of our group today. I'm just going to put this on here, just give it a little something. And by the way, I see this one has got some of these little nubby things on here. And if you'll just take like a emery board, or, you know, any kind of nail file, you can just kind of buff those edges off. It's like, you know what the things are, like if you pop something out and it's got those little things that didn't completely come off. I don't really like those. I should have looked at this one, and it has some too, and I should have taken those off. I mean, it's not gonna be it's not gonna ruin the project, let's say that, but I do like it if it's not on there. And I'll just center this on here just for something fun, since that was just plain. Well, look how fun that is. So then you've got that, and you can just stick it in your, you know, maybe even a pocket. Maybe you have a pocket on one of your things, and you could just stick it on there. For instance, maybe if I have this and I just want a pocket on here. How wide is that? That's almost the same thing. And I just have a little, is this the same height? Doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna glue my little plastic thing is giving me fits there. I'm just gonna glue, I'm gonna glue inside here deeper because I'm gonna punch that. Maybe you just have something that you are working on and you just make a pocket in the back to put some things in, right? Let me put this on here. Well, it doesn't hardly like that double layer. So maybe I've got something like this and I just pop this in, and then I've got my ephemera pocket that I can slide in there. So I mean, if you've got something like that, you could, you know, or a ring binder or whatever, you can make your own pocket to slide your ephemera pocket in, right? And then it's there nice and safe and easy to grab and use. So I think that's kind of fun. Let's see, let's work on our other one now and see what we can put it in here. I think that's dry. I should have grabbed out some things like for Christmas or something. But let's see how this works. Now this, I don't know if this is going to get lost down in there. Nope. That's the bottom of the pocket. So I mean, that would work fine. And then some of these you could stick in here. And I wanted this pocket down here to be a little shorter. Yeah, see? So you can put some things in there like that. Now, you got to be careful with things like this. For these kinds of things, you might want like one of the little cellophane, the little cellophane, let me see if I've got a small one. Nope. I don't know. I have a whole little package of the tiny cellophane bags, and I don't know where they are. They're somewhere over here. But I would put things like that in, just, you know, so they don't get lost if you want several tiny things, right? Or you could even, you know, have a even less deep pocket across the front and do that. That wouldn't even be a bad deal. I mean, it could just be very small. Very small. It would have to, so they don't get lost, right? But, you know, these kinds of things, once they get down in there, they're just going to be lost in there. So you'd want something. Or, I'll tell you what else you could do. Let me see. Here's what you could do. What do I do with my paper trimmer? Hang on. I got an idea. Oh, here, I found one. Look, I found one. It was with something. Oh, it's not even that. Shoot. It'll work, though, for what I was going to tell you. I mean, here's like a teeny tiny little thing, and you could pop some of these in there and stick them in your pocket. Like the little Ziploc bags. You could put some of your tiny little things so they don't get lost. Like a lot of these are little postage stamp things. And so maybe I want to include some of those in here. And I don't want them to get lost down there. So I'm just going to pop them in my tiny little envelope. And you could have like a little glassine envelope or whatever. You might even make a little paper envelope if you wanted to and put it down in there. Or here's an alternate method. Let's do this. We'll make a different little pocket that could pull out. So let's say we don't want it real big. Let's do this one at 4 inches. Okay. We're just going to make it at 4. And we don't want it real big. I don't want it as tall as this one. So I'm just going to do a finger fold here. Just a finger fold. And I'm just gonna slice it with my fingers right now. And I'm just gonna make it a very small pocket, okay? Put a little glue on the corners or of the flap, the sides of the flap. And fold that up. Give it a little squeeze here. And I'm just going to round my corners. Okay. Let me close this up. Okay, so this little pocket would be things that would be smaller that I don't want to get lost. Things that are too small to live in this pocket because they're going to get lost, right? So maybe I tuck some of those things in here like this so they don't fall down and I can still see what they are. Let me move this out of the way. Maybe it's like some of these little stamps. I can't grab that up. All these little guys, they're in here. There's all kinds of ways that you can try and, you know, keep yourself organized and be able to see what you have. Okay. Look, you guys, if I could come up with something to keep organized and see what it is, and make it, you can too. Okay, so you could put it in here, right? And then you can still put other things in there that are, you know, big enough that they're not going to be lost. Like these wouldn't be lost. Put some things like that in there that you can still see. And maybe you even make this, guy a double tiny pocket. It's still tiny, right? So that would be kind of easy to do. In fact, let's do that. This pocket's a little bit bigger. I don't have time to do a whole bunch left. I got a little bit of time, but let's do this. Let's say we wanted this to even be another little pocket. So, you know, it's like pockets and pockets, and I mean, it seems kind of goofy, but they would be very beneficial to keep things organized for all this small ephemera, right? So I'm just going to slide this here. That is not straight. Kind of hard to get it straight right now. Okay. So then I've got two little places that could be. This one, you don't want this pocket to be very long, right? It's not very deep, and you don't want it to be deep because the whole point is to be able to put small things in that we can pull out of the other pocket on our little main doodad thing here, right? So you've got some things that could fit in here and not get lost. I mean, that's about as deep as that is going to go. And so that's another little tiny small stamp thing, right? So any of these little things that are small. And then, like I said, you could make those and pop it into here and still pull it out. So you've got kind of double duty, right? You can do all kinds of fun stuff. But anyway, let's go. Next, like I said, following me is going to be Jeannie Clifton from Clifton's crafty casa. So it's like a tongue twister, Jeannie. Oh my goodness. So we got 2 genies in our group, but I've also put the link, if you want to come over to Facebook and join our group there too. You are welcome to join us over there. You guys, I hope you have a wonderful day, and we are almost to the end of November, but these kinds of things can suit you anytime to be helpful and keep you organized. Take care, and I will be live again on Monday. I will see you then. Bye-bye.